Hey everyone, this is our second Valentine's decoration project for 2015. My wife found these plans on Pinterest. Now these are real simple plans. Looks like they were cut out of 2x4s. We're going to alter them just a little bit. And that's a good thing with working in your shop. You can modify anything to suit you. Now where these were made out of 2x4s, it looks like we're going to make them just a little smaller. I don't think they'll be as space consuming. I've cut the templates out of hardboard. Construction paper or foam board works really well. I plan on making a few of these, so it's important to mark your bottoms and your tops like on letter I. Now I'm going to use, this here is just a scrap piece of 1/2 inch MDF. That way I don't waste it. And I'm going to put it on the base so we don't have everything falling over. So let's get started. Now, utilizing the piece of scrap, this here is the factory edge, and we need the bottom of this to be flat. Now, once again, you don't have to use permanent marker to trace out your things. It just shows up better on camera. MDF, it does sand off rather well, and I'd recommend it because it might bleed through your craft paint. Once you have your stencil or your pattern laid out, remember the tight corners may need a hole drilled in them just for a relief cut. This can be done with a jigsaw, but I'll be using a bandsaw today for this project. Now I've gone ahead and cut them into individual sections. This will simply just make it more manageable on the bandsaw. Remember, this is MDF and there's definite breathing hazard to it. So literally, any kind of breathing protection you can come up with. A bandana will work if you got whiskers. I mean, I'm not going to get a real good fit anyway. We'll just take our time. I lift this up just a little bit more. It gives me a little play in it and makes it easier to cut. Now, once you have it laid out to where it's approximately the width or spacing you want, I'm going to make a base for this. I'm going to want about 1 inch on each side, which will make it about 11 inches long or approximately 28 centimeters. And I'm only going to go about 3 inches wide or 7.5 centimeters. That way it's got a nice level surface and doesn't take up very much room. I've got my base cut. Now I've still got a little permanent marker there and the sides are just a little rough from the bandsaw. I'm going to use just a palm sander and I think it's about 120 grit. Just a light touch up, rough up the surface just a little bit. It'll take paint better. We're going to tape the contact points where we plan on gluing it. The reason for this is craft paint and hot glue don't go very well together. If you get the craft paint on there beforehand, it'll break the seal or grip of the hot glue and your project will fall apart. This is going to be the base. Now we're going to paint it to start with just eyeballing it right down the center. We're going to leave a little strip there. Once it's hot glued, we'll just go back and touch it up. Now once you've had a sufficient enough amount of coats to get it to where you want it, you can remove the tape. You want to position it beforehand and probably mark your places. And we're just going to use hot glue. But there is a difference in your hot glue guns. This is my shop glue gun, and it's good for industrial and putting on massive amounts of hot glue really quick. But for these smaller projects, one of these little bitty glue guns, hits it dead on the money. That way you don't just go overboard on the amount of glue you put on your project. Now removing your painter's tape, this leaves a pristine surface to glue. Same way on the bottom of your pieces. Now you want to figure out exactly, well, if I get it right, how you want them spaced. You realize it looks different depending on what side of the camera you're on, right?
Oh. But then that's got to go that way.
Okay, now once you get the spacing where it suits you, just take a little pencil and just make light marks. As close to the base as you can. All right. Now hot glue can leave kind of like spider webs coming off of it. I'm going to use just a light coating and try to smear away spider webs, and just hold it for a second. Right direction. I don't know how well you can see it in here, but there's a little squeeze out there. Doesn't amount to much. Pocket knife or a small utility knife. Clean it right up. Now all that's left is to start touching up the base. All right, now once you've touched it up, this is going to be the final outcome. It'll set good on mantles, TV cases, coffee tables. We did paint front and back. Now you can do it your own colors, your own way. I left some of the saw marks in here. I did smooth them up with the sander a little bit, just because I like the way it looked. You can round over the edges of this. You can write little inscriptions on the bottom of it. This is a simple project. We kicked it out probably in about 2 hours, primarily waiting for paint to dry. These can be cut out, and I used a bandsaw, jigsaw, and I did an experiment while I was waiting for paint to dry. And a coping saw does an excellent job. Very little saw marks, cuts angles really well, and cuts down on the dust. There you have it. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch. Please subscribe and like, and all comments are welcome. Thank you.